say they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning and welcome to episode 881 of the Lost Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter free. I'm Brian, your host, and it's March 30th, 2026. This morning I'm enjoying a fresh cup of FTO Blonde Espresso from foodforestfarms.com, where life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. Get 10% off with code LOTS10. That's LOTS10 for 10% off. Some fantastic coffee, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for even more awesome perks on the monthly coffee club. Today we've got another packed show. Metal siding is finally ordered, but the tank deal vanished. Flock surveillance isn't going anywhere, and why oil still runs the war machine, plus whatever else comes up. Grab your coffee, smash that like button, and let's get started. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having a good day. Pip in way early, just after midnight. Gonna try to catch this one. Dog sitting for the mutt from another hut. Muff from another hut. That's a different story there, Pip. Dog sitting. Fun. Anyway, it's Monday. Weather has been up and down here in Tennessee. We've been everywhere from, I think the other night, Friday night, it was like 36 degrees overnight and 80 the next day during the day. Highs in the 80s, highs in the 70s, and it's been pretty nice. Looks like we'll have some rain coming up here this week, but we'll see. It's spring. Good morning, Canadian Farmstead says he's driving. That's good. Hopefully on your way somewhere a lot of fun. Anyway, let's see. Got some fun stuff on the list for today. Gonna talk about some cabin updates, things didn't go. We didn't have a whole lot of progress this week. We did get the metal ordered. Talk about that just a little bit, and the next few steps, and the fact that I went to check out tanks at Lowe's again, and lo and behold, not good. So change of plans there. Also going to talk about some flock and related technologies. If you don't know what flock is and you haven't heard of it before, I've talked about it a couple times on the show before, but it's the license plate reader camera technology that they're popping up all over the place, and happened to deal with that a little bit this week. And then there's a story about it didn't have to deal with flock, but similar technology and how it can go wrong. Talk about that. And then oil and gas prices. What are you guys seeing in your areas? How are prices going there? We're up I think we're up over $1 since before we started dropping bombs on brown people over in Iran. And that doesn't help too much with that F-250 that takes 30 gallons and gets like 12 miles to the gallon. So here's to the war machine. Woo. Hoping that it makes sense in the end of why we're there. I really I don't know if it will or not. More than likely, I'm guessing it won't. But anyway, let's move on to the Bitcoin guessing game contest at 6:05. We always guess. We always look at the Bitcoin price up here on the ticker tracker over my shoulder here. If you're watching the video, if you're not, there's a little price tracker here I have that tells you if you're up, down, red, green, in the red, in the green, and gives that price. And we go ahead and guess the next week's price after the show is completed over in the Telegram group. If you'd want to get in on the Bitcoin guessing game contest, you can go to t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LotsChat, and look for the pinned post. And reply to that with your guess for the Bitcoin guessing game contest. So price this week at 6:06 on March 30th, 2026, we got $67,475 per Bitcoin, 67,475. Got some good guesses this week. Let's see what we got. Blueberry, Texas. My guess. Well, let's start with my guess. My guess is right up there from last week. It's 72,654. Not too close. Not too close. About 5,000 off. So not close enough for sure. Blueberry, Texas was in with a guess at 78,000 even. John Palmer, 76,543. I see what you did there. Just like my 72,654. He was a little too far off. Chris Dixon put that guess in Canadian dollars. He guessed 96,456 Canadian dollars. I had to do a little bit of a conversion quick this morning, and that's 69,335 US dollars. So close, but not close enough. Canadian Farmstead out there driving. Don't pull off the road. You didn't win. It's not worth it. You don't need to run that car into a pole or a tree or anything like that. Your guess at 68,900 was close, but not close enough. Scrambling in with the win with a guess at 66,400. Just over $1,000 off. Just over $1,000 off. Good job scrambling. He wins nothing. He wins absolutely nothing except bragging rights over in the Telegram chat. Sean over there was saying that we should probably guess silver spot price weekly, and I don't know about that. Silver, I've been following for a long time. I don't know if I've ever followed week to week. More often than not, I just pull up silver price when I'm curious. It's in one of my save tabs in my phone, and there it is. Let's see. We're at $71.73 on spot silver this morning, just in case you were wondering. But anyway, we'll stick with the Bitcoin guessing game. If you want to guess next week's price, I'm sticking with that 72,654 until we land above that. If you want to put a guess in, head over to t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LotsChat in that Telegram app. Or if you have the Telegram app already, you can just search up /LotsChat. Excuse me. You can just check out Lots Chat. Join us over there. Just ask to join the group. I got to manually approve every request. That is to keep spammers out as much as possible to protect the folks that are in the group. So head on over there. We will see you soon. Congratulations, scrambling on that Bitcoin guessing game win. So metal this week, we didn't do a whole lot. Well, Corey did. Corey did. I did a lot of math and I did a lot of figuring. Then earlier in the week, Corey had I think Thursday off. We went over to the building supply place that we contracted to put up the roof. We've been getting the supplies for building. For the building itself, some metal trusses and all that stuff. And we got metal ordered. So we're to a point where we have all our windows and doors in. We have the structure up. We have the floor up. And now we want to get that metal siding on, so then we can kind of get it dried in, then we can get it insulated, get our electric, plumbing, and things like that in the cabin. So time to order some metal. A few weeks ago, told you that we picked up a trailer, and the main purpose of the trailer was to be able to transport the metal. When we ordered our metal, it came down to the longest sheet. The longest sheets we're ordering 14 feet long. Ordered a shitload more than just the one 14-footer, but a bunch of metal. It was just your standard pole barn siding metal. And so went over there, took a trip in the morning with Corey and talked to the gentleman, worked out some details that I wasn't exactly sure about. Just kind of learning how to do this on my own through YouTube videos, through talking to people, through internet research and things like that. So had a few questions and got those answered. So we got the side metal ordered. We're holding off on the bottom. So the way it's going to really end up is we're going to have a wainscoting, kind of a two-tone finish on it. So we'll have, if you haven't heard me talk about the cabin before, it sits up. We hung the floor about 4 foot off the ground to give ourselves a crawl space, place for storage, for running utilities, for access and things like that. Get it up off a grade and to make it work with the inside. So when we had them install the roof first, it was 20 feet off the ground. So if we had finished at grade, our ceilings would have been 19, 20 foot tall, and that wasn't happening. And so the plan initially was always to put a floor partial the way up. And so the plan is to have the color split of the two different metal types sit right where the floor is, to kind of make it look more to scale from the outside, because when we went ahead and put the windows in relation to where the floor is, when you look at the outside, if it was all one color metal all the way around, it would look like the windows are like 7 feet up on the walls, and it just wouldn't look right. So I think that wainscoting is going to make it look better. But that being said, still want access under the cabin to still work under there. And with the trim that you use to make that transition, basically you can install that and then install the bottom sheets of metal later. So we went ahead and just ordered the top. We ordered the trim for that center color split. We ordered the trim for around the windows and doors, and then we ordered all the vertical sheets that are going to go around. Still kind of going back and forth. I have until noon this morning to get the order completed before it ships. Still thinking about ordering some of the other trims that go on after the metal's installed. Not sure really. It's going to be. We're still putting together how we're going to attack the job. It's a big job for us, not having never done it before. I think a pole barn crew would get this skinned out in a day or way less than a day, but they know what they're doing, and they've done it before. Corey and I are doing it by ourselves. We don't have the experience. We don't necessarily have the equipment or the tools that a pro crew would have. So we're trying to figure out how to attack it and how to chunk it up into manageable pieces without doing something that's going to bite us in the ass. With rain, with weather, with stopping and starting, and we only have limited time that we can work together, with Corey being off of work and stuff like that. So, cat's going nuts out there. You might have found a mouse. If you're in the Telegram group, I posted a video yesterday. Corey saw the cat hunting, and got her phone out and was recording a video of the cat playing with a mouse, basically a real mouse, not one of her toy mice. And she decided that she was just going to play with it and not actually kill it. So we ended up having to take care of the mouse itself. But regardless, back to the pole barn. Back to the cabin. We're trying to figure out how we want to go about breaking this into manageable chunks. So I've been going back and forth a couple different ways. Our girts that we have to put up basically are not pressure treated, so I don't know how far ahead I want to get putting those up, and then have them exposed to the weather for a few days or a few weeks or however long it's going to take. So might do that one section at a time, which means the trim gets done one section at a time, which means the whole thing gets done one section at a time. So we will see. And it really depends on how fast it goes too. Like I said, neither one of us has ever done it. So it could go nice and smooth. It could take forever. Or I might be calling up some friends to come over and help and knock it out real quick. So It's definitely a learning adventure, and finding that information varies wildly. Looking up how to do things, researching how to do things through YouTube University, through the internet, through manufacturers' websites, through instructions, and just there's 100 different ways to skin a cat, and a lot of them you can't call one right or wrong. I definitely have found videos where it didn't make sense, where it was obviously not the ideal way to do something, but there are also 100 different ways to do it correctly and get it done properly and get it done that it will work fine. So piecing those together, it's almost like you have to find one person's techniques and stick with them because they all tie together. So bouncing back and forth and trying to get more information and things like that it gets tough, sorting through it all when you have limited experience in doing this particular skill. So there is that. So learning new skills on the fly is something that has to get done. So that's ordered. That should be done. I should be able to pick that up Wednesday afternoon or Thursday. We're gonna use the trailer. We got the trailer here at the RV where we're parked. We're going to load that up with metal and get that up to the cabin and leave it there, and then get to work getting that metal on, and hopefully that goes smooth. We will see. We'll see, because the metal's coming in this weekend, and then also we got a visit coming up from my friend Kerry Brown from Strong Roots Resources. He's making his I guess it would be semi-annual. Kerry comes out a couple times a year. He's working on the Delinquent Scully project, the food forest and land management program that we're doing out there at Delinquent Scully. He makes trip out in the spring and the fall and kind of assesses, helps me, tips and tricks with me, gets a day of work. And I just like seeing Kerry. We're pretty good friends and enjoy each other's company. So Kerry's coming out Friday, Saturday. So yeah, probably not going to get a whole lot of work on the cabin done. Might get started, but definitely good to see good friends and grab some food and evaluate the progress of the food forest out at the Delinquent Scully, and also the next 6 months or so, and lay out a plan and see what we can do there to improve that property. One other cabin note: I talked last week about the stellar deal I found on some water tanks here locally at Lowe's. Yeah, they're gone. literally talked about it on the show on Monday morning. I think it was either Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. I jumped on the site to look at something else, to look at I think it was how many were available and some other sizes, because they were quite large tanks. And I was just double checking prices again, because the price was almost unbelievable and too good to be true. I believe it was true. I'm pretty sure that it was legit. But man, they sold out, and it looks like they sold out quick, because there's no more available at that price. The listing says currently unavailable, not sure when they'll be back in stock. So I don't know if Lowe's was buying large runs of the tanks and trying to get rid of inventory, or what the deal was. But those tanks are gone. So scratch that, and now reassessing how we want to lay things out. And like I talked about on the show last week, as I had originally planned the whole system for a different size tank, and then finding those at Lowe's. I think I originally had planned the things for 3,000 gallon tanks. These were 2,500 gallon tanks, and now with these gone, I'm not really sure what I'm going to go forward with now. Basically, what's available and what's the right price and what fits in the system. A little update on the spring I was searching for on the edge of the property. It is accessible. I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say the spring's accessible. I walked the creek back, and I found where it terminates. I guess it would be, or originates would be a better term. It basically disappears under a tree. It's really weird. It's Good morning, Chris Dixon. Chris says, call up some help. You'll never regret having some experienced help if it's available. Morning, kids. Yeah, I don't know. My friends are coming back from extended winter trip, and they might end up getting called up and at least point us in the right direction. My issue is working at heights on the ladders and by myself or with Corey. And I'm watching all these guys, and a lot of the pole barn install companies, especially the ones doing content, have gone to scissor lifts and articulating lifts and JLGs and things like that. Instead of, they say they just don't deal with fucking ladders anymore. And I'm like, that is fantastic. I really like that idea. Except the ground around our build site is not groomed enough to deal with that. I don't think it would be. It'd be sketchy, I think, using a scissor lift. So I'd have to rent a skid steer to smooth things out and then run that around, which it still might be worth it instead of using the ladder. But we'll see. We'll get it done. But back to the spring, it basically it disappears up under a tree on the hill. And so I went uphill from there. I didn't really see any running water. I didn't observe anything that was wet or mushy. So digging in a little bit of research, it looks like that's probably a spring seep, and I'll probably be able to develop some water access there. And really, if I can, I think it's close enough that a solar pump would bring that over to the cabin build site, no problem. Which would change water philosophy quite a bit. Right now, we're sitting on relying on rainwater catch for the majority, and then transferring from a spring that's relatively close. But it would be like 70 gallons at a time. It would be actually moving the water. I think if I could develop this spring seep that I found, I think I could pump to a storage tank up by the house and continually refresh that. Excuse me. Which lower with that available running water all the time, quote unquote running water coming from the spring. It changes the dynamic of things, because the bulk storage that we're planning for was basically to ride out the dry periods here in Tennessee. When it rains and when it's wet, we'll get plenty of rain catch to use a 1,500 gallon tank or use a 2,000 gallon tank. The problem is having enough storage when the rain stops for 3 months straight. And you're not refreshing the tank. If I can add in a source of water that's filling even when it's not raining, that really lowers the amount of backup storage that we need to have to cover the dry spells. So that's still to be determined, I guess is what I'm saying. It adds some flexibility in, it adds some stability in, it adds some redundancies in. And if we can kind of manipulate where our water sources are coming from, maybe not need as big and as many tanks, and they could possibly be located in different spots. So we will see how that goes. I found that spot, and I haven't had a chance to get back to kind of dig some test holes to see where that seep runs from, and where we could put in a collection box, and how to plumb that. So we will see about that here maybe this week. We'll probably go over there and poke around with Corey or Carrie Carrie and Corey. Carrie when he's here this weekend. So that's cabin update. Not a lot of work done, but a lot of planning and a lot of figuring some stuff out. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Wish it was going faster, and we'll see what we can do about that. What else is on the list? Okay, Flock. Go ahead. Talked about Flock a couple times on the show. Once way back when nobody was talking about it, when it wasn't a big deal, when it wasn't in the news that much, and then once again here more recently when they were voting on or letting the public know that they were getting ready to install 5 Flock cameras in the county that we will end up in. Right now, we're staying 1 county away from where the cabin build site is, and they do things county to county here in Tennessee. And so I kind of watched the county news over where we're going to be. And they were either voting on or just letting the public know that they were installing 5 Flock cameras. And if you don't know what Flock cameras are, they're basically license plate readers. AI technology, license plate reading technology, and they're on the side of the roads. And basically, they're supposed to only be used to record license plates and find criminals. Say somebody is wanted, or an Amber Alert with a license plate tied to it, things like that. They're supposed to be able to light up these records and find where the people are, basically track them camera to camera, and be able to pinpoint their location and arrest them, which sounds great, doesn't it? It sounds fantastic that if a car is stolen or a kid is stolen or somebody is wanted, they'll be able to track them down like that. Except when it's not. Except when it's the wrong person, except when it's not because someone is a bad guy or someone is a bad actor and they just want to find you. So that's what Flock is. I think it's horrible. I think it's a waste of money basically for these municipalities to do that. I think it's a violation of privacy for everybody on the road. You don't have anything to hide. You don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, okay. So why I'm talking about Flock again this week. I saw an article, more cameras going in the general area. I'm a member of a lot of the local community groups on Facebook, and I see their posts there, and one relatively close was getting some more of these Flock cameras in their town, and people were debating the good, the bad, and the ugly. And man, there's a lot of back the blue line here in Tennessee. For as freedom oriented and leave me the fuck alone as Tennessee is, there are a lot of fucking bootlickers. So it's a 50-50 toss when they throw out something like, we want more surveillance in Tennessee. And so there was a group that was supporting it. There was a group that were against it. There was a group that was against the spending, and some people were against the privacy factors. It was an interesting read in the comments for sure. But one guy posted some websites, and I went and checked them out. The websites were basically where to find these cameras, where they're basically databases and maps of where the cameras are. He had posted one called DFlock, I believe. Let me get this up. Yeah, it was called DFlock.org. That's DEFLOCK.org. DFlock.org basically gives you a map. You put your zip code in. What is going on? StreamYard changed their branding, so my little tab at the top, I can't fucking find it when I click off it. Hey, good morning, Hunter. How's it going? Okay, D-Flock. Hunter says D-Flock. He has 5 around his place. Basically, D-Flock, you go in, you put in your zip code, and it shows you where all the license plate reading cameras are in your area. And so I was just curious. I knew that they were putting the 5 in the county next to us. I was pretty sure that the county I live in had some. And I was just curious in the area in general where they all were. And so I pulled it up. I was looking at the map, and I found it interesting. So back when I talked about it, when they were going to add the 5 to the neighboring county, I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I mentioned it to Corey. I thought about it quite a bit. Is where I would put these cameras if I was king. if I was the police chief, or if I was someone placing these flock cameras, where where would I put them? And just having traveled the area and been around here quite a bit, and if you've been to this area of Tennessee, we were right on the Tennessee River, and there isn't a whole lot of crossings to the river. And basically, if you're on one side of the river, you usually need to be on the other side of the river. And if you're on the other side of the river, you basically need to be across the river. So obviously, the points would be the river crossings. I would think, you got 40 miles between 30 miles between river crossings. And they lead going to be able to kind of get an understanding of where traffic's going. And he hasn't crossed the Tennessee River yet, if they're looking for some particular individual. But anyway, I was thinking that I would put these at the base of the bridges. Makes sense. Pull up the flock cameras, and I was heading to Savannah, which is the next biggest, not Savannah, Georgia, Savannah, Tennessee. A little different population there, but was heading to Savannah to go to Walmart, and I was like, okay, well, I'm wondering where they are, and so maybe I could see them, spot them. So I pull up D-Flock, I put in my zip code, and sure enough, right there at the bottom of the bridge, there was one located. And then there were 4 others in the city of Savannah, the town. I don't know if I really even call it a city, the town of Savannah. And I was kind of searching on the map, and it was just a road map. And I don't know the road numbers very well around here. I drive them, I know where I'm going, but the roads are all kind of like in circles. And it's one of those things where you got like Highway 100 north, but it runs east to west for the majority of it. It's weird. So I just figure out where to go and not necessarily the road numbers. So I was trying to look at the map, and I was like, where are these other 4? And they were all right on top of each other. I was like, this is weird. So I kind of zoom in, I find some filters and layers for the map, and I get the layers laid out, and they're right next to the Walmart parking lot. Not necessarily. I mean, I guess it is a major road out of town, and into town. And eventually, if you take that road and take a couple more turns, you'll end up at the river bridge. Like, I figured that they should put one there. But it's right next to Walmart. And I was like, what is the strategy of putting this here? I guess it is one of the towns, or one of the roads coming into town. But by that fact, there should be a couple there's a couple other major roads into town. You would think they would have them there. They have 4 sitting on one pole facing 3 different directions, right by Walmart. And so I don't know, maybe it's they think that a lot of criminals go to Walmart. A lot of people that they're going to be trying to find go to Walmart. I don't know. But anyway, I found the locations of the flock cameras there. I was able to see it. It's not very impressive. It's a little black camera with a solar panel, basically in a box on a post on the side of the road. I don't think if you weren't looking for it, you would really know what it was. Um, Hunter says kind of half expected them to be in bird costumes. Flock, birds aren't real, surveillance. Yeah, I gotcha on the reference there. But anyway, I spotted the cameras, and I just happened to be, thinking on the subject. Why people would support these, and I think the easier one for me is why people shouldn't support these, why these are a horrible thing, and what the end goal of Flock, the company, the actual. So these cameras, it's going to be another one of those branded by the lead brand. There's plenty of different license plate camera companies, but Flock seems to be the one that's pushing the narrative and pushing out their equipment and pushing out their name. And it got me thinking back to, man, it must have been, I was trying to think this morning, it must have been 2008, 2009 ish. I actually had a little bit of a, I wouldn't call it a job. It was like a side gig, some extra money. I think they put it out there as you could make full-time money. It was basically a pay per item gig, but you got paid for taking pictures of license plates and where they were. Basically, you could go to the mall and walk up and down the aisles of the parking ramp or the parking lots and snap pictures of license plates and submit them into an app, and you got paid per license plate. What they were doing was collecting a database of license plates and locations that they would sell to skip tracers, they would sell to law enforcement, they would sell to bill collectors, they would sell to whoever wanted to have a general location of a specific person. So basically, they were loading the database and then saying, here, we'll sell you this list of license plates that were located in this zip code. And then the customer, having the license plate numbers of the people they're trying to find, would just do a cross-reference on it. So this is the power of building anonymous databases of information. So basically, Flock in this model could have that camera rolling, and we're not specifically identifying anybody that we're not looking for, but logging license plate after license plate after license plate, not giving it to law enforcement, but just having a big anonymous list of numbers and locations is still valuable information to somebody. Are they doing this? I don't know. If they're not, they probably should be. It's a great business model. Is it legal? I assume they have the cameras out there. They're recording all the time. They're public accessed a lot. Jesus Christ. Chris Dixon says maybe the installer just enjoys tube tops and leopard print wearing big girls. I have to assume he's lagging a little bit and he's listening to the part about why they're all at Walmart. It took me a second to put that together, but thanks, Chris. So this is something that could happen. Some other stuff that could happen, and it tied into me thinking about Flock over the week, was I don't know if anybody heard the story. So the story concluded just before Christmas 2025. So about 4 months ago. Is that 4 months ago? 3 months ago? A woman from Tennessee, and this isn't necessarily Flock, but this is AI assisted policing, which basically is what Flock is and what it will be going into the future. But basically, a 50-year-old Tennessee woman, Angela Lips, was accused of crimes in North Dakota, a state she says she's never been to. And this has happened along the way. I know personally a few people that have gotten toll tickets for like bridge tolls or highway tolls that they didn't pay. And, they have the license plate readers and they take the picture and then they send you a bill in the mail. I've known more than one person that's gotten a bill in the mail and they've never even been to the state. So basically, the camera took a picture and there was a reflection over the license plate and it was the wrong license plate number, misread, or for some reason, their license plate popped up and they got a bill and they just never even been to the state. So we know that technology is fallible, 100%. We didn't need those examples to know that technology is fallible. But so this lady, Angela Lips, she was arrested in Tennessee for crimes in North Dakota. North Dakota? Yeah, North Dakota. Basically, the case involved some bank fraud using a fake ID tied to some surveillance footage. The police in North Dakota ran the footage through facial recognition AI called Clearview AI. So Flock, we're looking at license plate readers. Clearview, we're looking at facial recognition. The AI system flagged her, Angela Lips, who's never been to North Dakota, never been up there, never whatever. The AI picked her photos and said, "This is a suspect." Now, it didn't automatically go arrest her. They didn't send a bolo out to arrest this, but a detective took this information and compared her driver's license picture and her social media images and said that she looked close enough. She's close. Looks close enough. It's got to be her. She's in Tennessee. Of course, she's commuting back and forth to North Dakota to commit bank fraud. Now, the AI suggestion plus the human confirmation, the judge issued an arrest warrant, and she was arrested. So in July 2025, U.S. Marshals arrested Miss Lips at her home in Tennessee at gunpoint, showed up like no-knock raid bullshit, at gunpoint, arrested her, threw her in jail for 3 to 4 months in Tennessee, and then extradited her to North Dakota, where she was locked up for longer, up until Christmas. So that's what's a total of 5 to 6 months she was in jail. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. Basically, she hired a lawyer, finally. I don't think she was very well off financially. It wasn't like she could just drop a lawyer. She finds a lawyer. They took bank records and transaction and showed that she was in Tennessee during the crimes. And as soon as they did that, it collapsed. The whole case collapsed and they let her go. But she spent 5 to 6 months in jail because an AI facial recognition said that this woman was the same woman as in a video. And a cop went with it. Did the cop drop the ball? How close did she look to the person? Did they do any sort of other investigation before the marshals raided her house with a gun and arrested her? Or is it a shoot first and ask questions later, arrest first and ask questions later? That sounds a lot like guilty until proven innocent. Not we'll gather enough evidence to be sure that this is actually the person that was doing this. Now, if it popped up with somebody, say that the crimes were in Fargo, North Dakota, and the AI popped up with an image that said this person did it, and they live in Fargo, and they frequent the bank that's the fraud is being happened in, and you had more video of this person in the general area, then maybe I think it would be a good tool to use. But when it spits out somebody that's living in Tennessee, you might want to fucking dig in a little bit more and maybe check the bank records. Maybe check the things that would maybe exonerate this woman before you put her in jail for 6 fucking months. I don't know. That sounds like a reasonable request to me. But anyway, she lost her house. She couldn't pay for her house for 6 months. She was in jail. She lost her job. She lost she had a storage unit that she couldn't pay for. She lost that. Her reputation was smeared. She's got this on her record. She was arrested. And she said the experience permanently changed her life because AI got it fucking wrong, and a human who was supposed to be the safety net didn't catch it. So why should people be upset about Flock? Why should people be worried that they're just installing these cameras just to find Amber Alert kids and wanted criminals? Because technology fucking sucks. Because technology makes mistakes, and when humans get comfortable using it that reliantly, when humans get very comfortable reliantly, I don't know if that's a word, when humans get that comfortable using the technology and don't question it, things can go really bad really quickly for people that are not even involved. So deflock.org if you want to know where the cameras are in your location. Will it keep you from being on them? Probably not. Will it let you know where they are? So maybe avoid them. Maybe bring up these points to your neighbors or your local officials, or do you have them in your area? Are they voting on installing these cameras? You might want to get ahead of that. The cost also is enormous. The operational cost for the police department and in the end the taxpayer to run these is it's not cheap. So check it out. A lot of the places that are getting these installed, a lot of these places that are putting them in are doing them under the guise of emergencies. We need the help. We need the extra eyes on the roads. We don't have enough police officers. Blah 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 blah. So anyway, another issue with Flock. What else do I have here? Move on from the spying state. On to the warring state. How's gas prices where you guys are at? We're up about $1, just over $1 a gallon. I'm pretty sure since before they started dropping bombs. I literally got gas the Thursday before. Hunter says 344 is the cheapest he found. We're up over that, where I think so I have a reference point is the gas station here in town. The gas station in town is actually higher than the gas in another town, but with the driving distance, and it just doesn't make sense. Convenience, So my reference point is right here in town. The Thursday before they started the attacks in Iran, I believe I got gas for $2.69 a gallon. And last week, I believe on Wednesday, it was $3.79. So up over $1 in the 5 weeks. I think that it's happening. I saw a couple of tweets yesterday, the day before, that markets are preparing for $200 a barrel oil. And if you don't know, if you have no idea how much a barrel of oil costs, right now we're sitting at the WTI, basically the U.S. index for barrel of oil, sitting at just around $100 a barrel. The Brent crude index is between 110 and 120. I think last night it was at 114. Basically, it's up 50 to 60% in a month since the whole bullshit in Iran started. So the markets are pricing in a little bit. They're saying this war is going to continue a while. That there's a bunch of damage to infrastructure and production. So there's a little bit of going to be some supply shortages coming out of the Middle East, and then worst case possibility that this escalates even further from what it's actually right now, which I'm not really sure. Are they still just bombing people, taking out strategic infrastructure, whatever, dropping billions of dollars of fucking bombs and killing a bunch of people and destroying a bunch of shit that we'll probably end up helping to rebuild anyway. So where is it going? And where does gas prices go if crude oil doubles again, basically? If we're at 100 and it ends up hitting $200 a barrel, what does that look like for us at the pump? And what does that look like for the support of this war? That I don't know. Chris Dixon says humans are inherently lazy, and then you put them into government jobs. Well, there is that. War machine. What are we accomplishing there other than $1 a gallon more gas in a month? And this isn't over yet. I know when they started bombing, it was put out there that this is going to be quick and painless. We are a superpower. We're going to bomb them into submission. Blah 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 blah. Reminds me of another president that landed on an aircraft carrier and it said, "We won." Chris Dixon says I had to refresh. I may need to rewatch. Maybe. I don't think this is ending anytime soon. I think you have leadership in Iran that's just not going to give up. It's one of those going down with the ship scenarios that they'll do whatever they can to cause maximum pain across the world. If they're going to be in pain, we're all going to be in pain type of things. Hunter says POTUS had TTL 60 days. I'm not sure what TTL is. Blanking on that right at the moment. Oh, POTUS has 60 days. I don't know. I think it's all bullshit. He just decided he was going to go over. I can't play the game and say, oh, he doesn't have the power to do that. I mean, obviously he does. He's doing it. There's a lot of rhetoric back and forth about war powers and who they haven't voted about it in Congress. And look at our history for the last, 30, 40, 50 years. Did they vote in Congress to do any of that shit? Maybe they did. First Gulf War. There's been lots of offensives that have happened without congressional approval. But anyway, the benefit isn't outweighing the costs, in my opinion, in my world, and probably not in your world. If you want to be altruistic and you want to be all looking out for the greater good, were they killing a bunch of people in Iran? Yeah, they were. They probably still are. And guess what? So are we killing a lot of people in Iran. So a lot of the reasons that we're doing this kind of fall apart. And all I'm looking at is shit's costing me more. Gas, and then it's going to trickle into every good across the world, because everything runs on oil, especially the war machine. And yesterday in the Telegram group, we started, we were talking about some stuff, and an idea got thrown out that, maybe this was a way to jump the price of oil. And that might sound crazy, but a lot of our infrastructure to produce oil domestically um, rides on higher price per barrel of oil to be profitable. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's different extraction methods to get oil out of the ground, and it costs different amounts to explore, to pull it out of the ground, to refine it, to barrel it, to transport it. All these things add into the cost, and there's a break even point. And I remember when I was working for a startup, and we weren't actually extracting oil. We were kind of tied hand in hand to the Bakken oil fields, but we were making synthetic crude oil out of waste plastic. We were still tied to the price of oil per barrel. Our products sold in the same industry as crude oil. So we were getting a price that was a percentage of what a barrel of oil costs, because we weren't a barrel of oil, but were used for similar purposes. We were bought by similar customers, and it kind of set the price for us. So whatever the price of barrel of oil would be, what we could sell a barrel of our product for, minus a little bit. And so our break even was a barrel of oil at $80. It was somewhere in the low 80s. Can't remember exactly where it was, depending on how lean we were running and where we were in our process. But once it went below that, it wasn't economically feasible to keep our plant running to produce that product. They did shift. They changed gears and went to a different product, a different, same process, different end result, different input, different end result. But it wasn't economically viable to keep producing oil or synthetic oil when the price dropped below a certain threshold. And I think that that has similar spots across the industry. So I think there's a lot of technologies that just don't make sense when oil is $60 a barrel, $70 a barrel. But man, they'll really ramp up production when it's $100 a barrel. Well, how can we get oil to $100 a barrel again? I don't know. But if you had to spike the price of oil suddenly, what would you do? I don't know, bomb fucking Iran and close the Strait of Hormuz. That would be a good start. In about 5 weeks, you could probably raise the price 50 to 60%. Is that what I said on my notes? I mean, it was just an idea. Now I'm frozen. It was just a thought in the Telegram group, and when it was posted, I was like, huh, I don't know. I don't know if that's why we've dropped billions of dollars of bombs, but guess what? I think they're ramping up oil production domestically. Is that because the price is up, or is it because we need it? You would think that we would have ramped it up and been using it even when we didn't need to. That would have made sense. But anyway, has anybody heard about Cuba lately? Check that out. They're not talking about that in the news. A lot of big shifting coming, I think, in the world with this conflict, and I don't know. I don't think it's a short thing. I don't think it's going to come to an end anytime soon. So buckle up, get ready to conserve gas, get ready to keep an eye on what's going on in the Middle East. And even though we don't get a ton of our oil from there, it still affects us. And I went through a whole whole conversation with ChatGPT about why our gas prices are going up if we don't get very much oil from the Middle East, and it has a lot to do with global supply and global pricing. So anyway, guys, it's been an hour. We're up after 7 o'clock. I gotta get rolling. I got a bunch of stuff to do today and the rest of the week to prepare for my visit with Carrie Brown from Stronger Roots Resources coming out. Other than that, guys, if you need Comfrey, get over to ComfreyRoots.com. We're selling Comfrey Roots, sending them out every Monday, get them in the ground, get them going for the year, and have a renewable product that you can spread, you can propagate, you can sell yourself, or you can just use it for the benefits of the leaves, the roots, or just look at it. It's a really cool looking plant. And looks nice as an ornamental. Head on over to ComfreyRoots.com, COMFREY Roots.com. Pick some up. Just something, the little insider tip, if you're over at ComfreyRoots.com, if you get up into that 50 root order, we bump you to priority shipping automatically. Shipping is free over there. It's all included in the price, but when you bump up to that 50 root order or more, we pop that up to free priority shipping. So doesn't say it over there. This is something we advertise, but I was processing orders last week, and it's just what we do. I didn't even mention it, so I thought I would throw it out there now. Other than that, you can check out the Blockstream Jade or Jade Plus. A link is in the video description and the audio description for my affiliate link. If you're looking for a good Bitcoin hardware wallet, checked out the Blockstream Jade or Jade Plus. Super easy to use, but you're going to be able to grow with that even if you're a beginner. And as you grow in your Bitcoin journey, it will still be sufficient enough. So check that out if you get a chance. Beyond that, head on over to the Telegram group, t.me/LotsChat. That's t.me/LotsChat. We're going to wrap it up here, and we will catch up with you next Monday.